Hello everyone, welcome to DIADEMY IAS. Today's session we are going to discuss about the next area of English literature. It's an important area regarding with the UPSC mains examination optional paper. And in this session we will discuss about the introduction to the Renaissance period or Elizabethan period. We know that Elizabethan period is one of the important or outstanding period in English history or English literature. So we already discussed about the different areas of English literature based on Anglo-Saxon period, and after that we had a period that is Middle English period. Then after these two periods, England and English literature, both England and English literature reached in a new heights. So here Renaissance period is a definition of this period. Actually this period is based on Elizabethan. We know that Elizabeth was the queen in England during this time. And at the same time we have to understand that this period also named as Shakespearean period. Okay, Shakespeare, the period of or the age of Shakespeare. So let's discuss our session today. Here, relating with the Elizabethan period in English literature, it's mainly classified the different layers or different stages. Which are the stages? We can classify it as the golden age of England. The first one is, this period is named as golden period. Okay, what is golden period? It means that this period is considered as the outstanding events, outstanding literary works, social, economic, cultural, political changes happened in England. That means social, political, economic, religious, cultural, educational changes happened in England. That is the main reason we addressed this period as golden period in English literature. Then next, this period is called as Renaissance period. Okay, the correct pronunciation of this word is Renaissance. Okay, Renaissance, RENIASSANCE, Renaissance. What is Renaissance? Renaissance is a Latin word. Actually, it's a Latin word. It means that rebirth. What is rebirth? The society changed in a new phase. Okay, the society changed in a new phase. That's the important point here. New society, new thinking, new society, new thinking, new religious approach, new literature, and new social ideas. Okay, all these are the important peculiarity. We can say that Renaissance period, relating with the Renaissance period. So Renaissance period also consider the Renaissance period in English literature. There was a Renaissance period that also included in the Elizabethan age. Okay, so that's an important point relating with the introduction of Elizabeth. And we know that Queen Elizabeth, the period of Queen Elizabeth is 1558 to 1603. Okay, 1558 to 1603 is the period between Elizabeth. Elizabeth I. Actually, this is Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I belongs a kingdom, a group, a series of rulers, that is Tudor. Okay, so that we will discuss in the next session, next slide. And next point is Elizabethan age is considered as Shakespearean age. We know that Shakespeare, one of the in English literature, whenever we talk about the English literature, that presentation will not be complete without Shakespeare, because Shakespeare is the backbone of English literature. And his works, his sonnets, Shakespeare's plays played a vital role for the development of English literature. Mainly English period. Actually, the English period is equal to Shakespeare. So this period is also known as Shakespearean period. Why Shakespearean period or Shakespearean age? It means that during the time of Elizabeth I, okay, during the time of this reign, that means the rule of Queen Elizabeth, Shakespeare, the writer Shakespeare, also lived in the same age. William Shakespeare lived in the same age or same periods. Okay, that's an important point. And almost all Shakespearean works, the historical works, his tragedies, comedy works, sonnets, about 157 sonnets, all these literary works published in this period, Elizabethan period. So that's what we can say, that Queen Elizabeth period is considered as Shakespearean period as well. Then next, Queen Elizabeth period is considered as the great age of drama and second great age of poetry. Great age of drama and second great age of poetry. Why Queen Elizabeth period is considered as the great age of drama? It means we already mentioned that drama, the concept of drama or plays impacted in this time, in this period. Okay, all the greatest plays, especially the plays of Shakespeare and the important dramas, became popular in this period. That's what we called Elizabethan age is the great age of drama. And mainly Queen Elizabeth in England promoted highly, that means she promoted the literary works and the writers. And the second is that it's a second great age of poetry. We already discussed it about Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, Beowulf, like that. That during the old age. And that time we explained that poetry was started before drama became popular. That means that poetical work, all the poetry or poems, all poems were written in the old English period as well. So that's why we can say that the best period of poetry starts from Old English, specifically Anglo-Saxon period as well. And at the same time, we know that the drama, that means in English literature, drama became popular during the period of Queen Elizabeth. So after the Old English literature time, that means old Anglo-Saxon period time, poetry was there. The presentation of poetry was there. But actually, again, the poetry became famous or more popular in this time, Elizabethan time. That's what we called Elizabethan period is considered as the great the great age of drama and great age of poetry. So these are the introduction of Queen Elizabeth. So let's discuss once again or revise once again this point. What is Elizabethan age? Who was Elizabeth? These what are the different names or what are the different definitions for Elizabethan age? First, we discussed that Elizabethan age is considered as the golden age of English literature. It means that during this time, Queen Elizabeth I, who was the queen in England, promoted literary works and she promoted writers also as well. And during this time, a lot of important, famous literary works produced in this time. And at the same time, England changed into a new phase. We know that during the time of Norman, that means Anglo-Norman time, England's condition was very, very pathetic. Latin and French language, we already said that Normans were come from France, correct? They are coming from, just a minute. Okay, actually they are from actually these people coming from France, and that's what we discussed, that they followed French language. And in the Anglo-Norman time, people suffered because of their language. That means the English people normally followed the vernacular language, and gradually the impact of Anglo-Norman community in England, it badly affected the life of common English people. That's we already discussed. And from that period, the Elizabethan time, there was a lot of change happened. Which are the changes? Mainly, the changes relating with social, political, cultural, economic, religious changes there. Because normally Elizabeth, the Queen Elizabeth was a queen with potential relating with cooperation, unity, and she promoted social integrity and unity as well. So these are the main characteristic features of Queen Elizabeth administration. That's what we called Elizabethan time as the golden age of English literature. And next we said that Renaissance, Elizabethan period is considered as the Renaissance period. We explained that the word Renaissance means rebirth, correct? The word Renaissance, we discussed about the word Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth. It means that changing of superstitions and witchcrafts like that, and different types of superstitious beliefs, religious suppressions and all these superstitions were changed by the influence of Queen Elizabeth I. So that was the next stage, and that also one of the feature of Elizabethan period, and called it as a feature of Elizabethan time. That's what we called Elizabethan period as Renaissance period. And next we discussed about Elizabethan period is considered as a Shakespearean period as well, or Shakespearean age. Why Elizabethan age is named as Shakespearean age? We know that Shakespeare is one of the important writer during the time of Elizabethan administration in England, and Shakespeare's works, Shakespeare's plays, Shakespeare's poems, all are familiar and popular among the common people in England. That's what Shakespeare's works, literary works, became popular and outstanding in that time. So that's what we can name as this Elizabethan administration or Elizabethan age is Shakespearean age. And next we discussed about Elizabethan age is considered as the period of drama and the great period of drama and the great period of poetry. Why? Because during the Elizabethan age, drama, the works of drama uh, became familiar and popular, like that the poetry. And we already said that the Old English period and Anglo-Norman period, there was different types of poems. An example is Beowulf. And after that we have Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. And that period is one of the beginning stage of poetry. That's what we can call Elizabethan period as the great second stage of poetry. After Anglo-Saxon, specifically Geoffrey Chaucer's work. So these are the introduction for Elizabethan age. Next we can discuss about who was Queen Elizabeth first. Next we can discuss about who was Queen Elizabeth first. Who was Queen Elizabeth first? So here we already said that Queen Elizabeth was the queen on England, okay, between 1558 to 1603. Okay, her period is 1558 to 1603 was the period of Queen Elizabeth. At the age of 25, she became the queen in England. Okay, at the age of 25, she became the queen in England. That's the next important point. And she played a vital role because Queen Elizabeth administration is more powerful than the administration of prime minister and presidential or president. Like that, a lot of administration, because a lot of different types of structures of administration she introduced. So her power was outstanding in that time. And that is the next important point when we have to remember about Elizabethan period. And next is she never married. This queen never married. Okay. That's why Queen Elizabeth is named as, virgin ruler or virgin queen. Okay. That's a literary point of view. I just said about the literary point of view only. Then next peculiarity of Queen Elizabeth is she was a famous scholar as well. She was a famous scholar. That means mainly based on she gave more priority to the people, especially the common people in England. Then next one is during the time of Queen Elizabeth, basic education system improved. Basic education system improved during the time of Queen Elizabeth. But that is the next important point. Then next is she promoted literature. And the next is that the peculiarity of Queen Elizabeth is unity. And during that time there was no wars, because she was very cooperative with all the people, and she done the different measures to unite her people. So that was another important feature of Queen Elizabeth administration. Then next is lot of political changes. That means no partiality in administration. She also promote the middle class people in England. Middle class people in England. Okay. Then during the period of Queen Elizabeth, there was an economic stability, and administrative stability as well. Administrative stability. Okay, there was an economic stability, administrative stability during the time of Queen Elizabeth. Okay, so then next is she belonged to a Tudor dynasty. Belonged to Tudor dynasty. What is Tudor dynasty? We can say that Tudor dynasty means mainly five Tudor. In Tudor dynasty, we have five series of administrators. Okay, 5 series of administrators during the Tudor dynasty. Then what is Tudor dynasty? Actually, it was a dynasty in England, because a dynasty in England. A dynasty in England, and it mainly includes 5 rulers. It mainly includes 5 rulers. 5 rulers. In this dynasty includes 5 rulers. Which are the rulers? First one is Henry VII. And next is Henry VIII. Okay, Henry VIII. And third one is Edward. Third one is Edward first. And fourth one is Mary first. And fifth one is Queen Elizabeth first. Okay. So these are the 5 important rulers, including the Tudor. Actually, Tudor is a dynasty in England. And Tudor means a series of rulers during a particular time in England. They continuously ruled in England, British people like this. In this time, different types of administration there, and we can say that Queen Elizabeth administration was an outstanding administration when we compare other 4 rulers. Actually, these 5 rulers includes a dynasty. That means a series of. Actually, it is a series of dynasty, series of rulers. Tudor means series of rulers, and these rulers ruled England, and mainly Queen Elizabeth first was the outstanding administrator in England. That's why this period is named as golden period. And just think about why these 5 rulers, only 5 rulers included in this Tudor dynasty. Because we already said Queen Elizabeth was unmarried. Okay, she was unmarried, not married. So that's why there was no follower in this Tudor dynasty. So Elizabeth first was the last ruler in Tudor dynasty. So these are the important points relating with Queen Elizabeth first. Okay, Queen Elizabeth first. So we discussed about Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, the ruler in England, and her time is considered as the golden period in England. In the different types of administration, and her period was considered as a stability, that means a stable England without any wars, without any political tensions, and this period was economically stable, politically stable, then religiously there was no major issues reported in that time. So all these features makes Queen Elizabeth as a perfect ruler in England. And specifically in literature perspective, during this time English literature reached the heights. Different types of literary works were produced. Different types of writers and perspectives introduced that time. Specifically, drama became more popular among the common people, and poetry also increased in its heights. All these are the important features relating with Elizabethan period or Queen Elizabeth. Next, we can discuss about why this age is considered as Renaissance and the age of Shakespeare. The next point we said that why this period is considered as age of Renaissance, why Elizabethan period is considered as age of Renaissance and the age of Shakespeare. We know that the period of Shakespeare is 1564 to 1616. So the same period. Queen Elizabeth and William Shakespeare lived in the same period. And William Shakespeare's important works published in the same period. And he wrote different sonnets in the same period. That's what this period is considered as Shakespearean period. Okay. And next is Renaissance. What is Renaissance? We already said Renaissance means rebirth. Renaissance means rebirth. What is rebirth? Rebirth actually here means that awakening. Okay, rebirth also known as awakening. Then what is awakening? Awakening means awakening from superstition, awakening from religious misbeliefs and religious misinterpretations, lack of clarity in society, lack of clarity in life and all. So a lot of superstitious activities were in England in that time. So during the time of during the time of the Queen Elizabeth I, all the superstitious beliefs and religious misinterpretations changed, and people try to know about more and more perspectives, scientific advantages, political beliefs, new political perspectives, and also all these are the basic reasons we can say that this period is a period of Renaissance. Actually, the word Renaissance first used, the word of Renaissance, it means that we already said that rebirth. Rebirth. It was first used by French historian Jules Michelet. Jules Michelet is the first person who used the term Renaissance through his book, which was the book History de France. Okay, History de France is the work of Jules Michelet, and through this work he mentioned about the word Renaissance. It was published in 1855. It was published in 1855. Then the Renaissance, actually the Renaissance, that means the awakening or the rebirth of ideas, first happened in Italy. Okay, and from Italy it spread into England. That was the year between 1350 to 1400. 1350 to 1400. Okay. So these are the important points relating with the Renaissance period. And next we have to understood that what are the important advantages? So what are the impact of Renaissance period? What are the impact of Renaissance, and why the Renaissance period was special in English literature? So let's discuss. So the Renaissance means, actually Renaissance means in England, a lot of change happened. Actually we can say that a sort of, we already said that, rebirth. Renaissance means rebirth. So it means that rebirth relating with science. Science and in the field of science and technology, it was actually a rebirth, or it was actually a renaissance. And next one is political awareness. Political awareness. Then third one is religious equality. Religious equality feeling. That means most of the people was blind when the beginning time of Elizabethan time, Elizabethan period. But the influence of Queen Elizabeth, people was aware about the activities, religious things, like mainly in that time there was two types of religion, Catholic and Protestant Christianity, and between this group there was a clash, and by the influence of Queen Elizabeth, she solved a lot of confusions between these two communities. And normally Queen Elizabeth was neutral. She never promote she never take a superior or inferior classification of this two religious group. So that was also one of the reason that we can say that the age of Renaissance. Okay, the next one is economical changes. A lot of economical changes happened in this time. It means that Queen Elizabeth administration mainly focused on middle class people. Okay, a normal people in England, middle class people. Okay, so all these are the main reasons we can say that Elizabethan period is considered as the Renaissance period. Then next, we can discuss about why this golden age. A lot of golden age, we already said that a lot of different works were there in the time of Elizabethan age, and now we can discuss about specifically why Elizabethan age is considered as the golden age in England. Okay, it means during the time of Elizabethan age, that means during the time of Queen Elizabeth, it mainly classified into four different classifications. First one is Jacobean age. As per the classification of literature, Elizabethan age can be classified into, first one is Jacobean age, second one is Caroline age, then third one is Commonwealth period. Okay, so mainly we have the four subset of this period, the Renaissance period or Elizabethan period, mainly classified Elizabethan age, Jacobean age, Caroline age, Commonwealth period. All these are the sub-classification of this period. And next is that during this time, a lot of important works, a lot of different works, mainly drama, including Shakespeare, Shakespearean plays or highly promoted, poems mainly, poems based on lyrical poems, mainly promoted during this time. And next one is sonnet. You know that what is sonnet? Sonnet is a 14-line poem. 14 lines poem. Okay, 40 lines poem, sonnet, the small poems. So this type of different literary works highly promoted during the time of Elizabethan age. So that's what we can say, that this is a golden age. That's the first reason. And the next is that uh, whenever we take the most famous writers in English literature, all the famous literary works, all the famous literature writers emerged at this time. Okay, famous writers, famous writers emerged in this time. Famous writers emerged in this time. So that's the next important point relating with the golden age. Then next is the poem mainly based on all the literary works, all the literary works including plays, drama, sonnet, all the poems or drama mainly focused on love, maybe the romantic works also were there, romantic works, then voyage, then religion, then lyrical experiences, lyrical lines. All these are the features in the period of English literature in Elizabethan time. So different types of literary works, also can see in this time. Okay, then so the Elizabethan age, the characteristic features of Elizabethan age, we discussed what are the characteristic features of Elizabethan age. One by one, I can revise once again. You just recollect the important points. Why Elizabethan age is considered as the golden age in English literature? Point number one, Elizabethan age is a golden age because the influence of Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare also lived in the same period of Queen Elizabeth. Point number one. Point number two, through this time, a lot of literary works was produced. It means that different types of literary works, drama, we know that Shakespearean drama, and different famous dramatists, and poems. Lot of poems were published during the period of Elizabethan. And next point is sonnet. What is sonnet? SONNET. Sonnet means a 14 lines poem, very small poems. Okay. And Queen Elizabeth in England gave more priority to the common people and English language. And before Elizabethan time, England was mainly based on French language. Okay, French language, Latin language. But this language was the language of high class people, not low class people. That means highly educated people. And English was the language used by common people in England. So during the Elizabethan period, the Queen Elizabeth gave more priority to English language, not French, not Latin, not Greek. So the common people can easily read and understand what the writers mention in the text. And at the same time, during the Elizabethan age, education was promoted. That means every common people get the basic education. So that's why we can say that Queen Elizabeth time is the golden age in English literature. Okay, clear? I think here Prasad, clear? Okay, so let's discuss the next part of the session is Next is the important writers. Which are the important writers in this time? The important writers are, let's discuss the important writers. Poets. Name of important writers, especially important name of important poets in Elizabethan time. First one is Thomas Sackville, Thomas Norton, George Gascoigne, Edmund Spencer. We know that Edmund Spencer, we have the syllabus UPSC. Okay. Then Thomas Wyatt, Henry Heywood, Philip Sidney, we have. Then Samuel Beckett, Daniel Michael Drayton. Okay. These are the important poets. We need not to study all the poets and we need not to study all the poems. We only focus on UPSC syllabus. Okay. But when we discuss about a particular age, we have to keep in our mind about the important writers, because whenever interview, when we after the UPSC exam, the interview time also, there will be a question relating with different writers in a different age and different period. So we can use this reference. The next is important dramatist. Who are the important dramatists during that time? William Shakespeare, we have UPSC in syllabus. UPSC syllabus, we have William Shakespeare. And Ben Jonson. Then Thomas Middleton, John Webster, Thomas Heywood, John Marston and Philip Mastering, Shirley and John Ford. Okay. So these are the important dramatists in the time of Elizabethan age. And next one, prose writers. Important prose writers: Philip Sidney, Francis Bacon, Rail Hooker, William Webber. These are the important name of prose writers during the time of Elizabethan age. Okay. The next we can discuss about religion. Mainly Elizabethan time, two types of religion. First one is Protestant Christian and second is Catholic. Two types of religion. Okay. It's a simple point, we just mentioned it. And internal peace, we already said that during the time of Elizabethan time, during the time of Elizabethan period or administration, there was a political stability, economic stability, cultural stability, so that we already discussed. Then a rich period in England. During the time of Elizabethan age, mainly Elizabethan period considered as the rich period in England, a rich period in England. Why a rich period? Why Elizabethan period is considered as the rich period in England? We can easily say that during this time, during the time of Queen Elizabeth, there was the period is mainly, we can classify it in the 15th century and 16th century. Okay, mainly 15th century and 16th century. 16th century and 15th century. Between these centuries, mainly the administration, Queen Elizabeth administration in England. And in this time, a lot of changes happened. That means a lot of advancement in England. Mainly, specifically, we can say that scientific advancement. Scientifically, England became more advanced. And next one is movable printing. Movable printing. That means we know that printing press like that. And movable printing is one of the important period or important achievement during the Elizabethan time. Movable printing. And third one is education. It means that common people got the right to education. That means they have educated, minimum education. And fourth one is English language became important language. English language became important language in England. We know that during the time of Anglo-Norman invasion, during the time of Anglo-Norman administrative time, actually there was the language French. Mainly the language was French. It was not accessible for the common people in England. But when the Queen Elizabeth reign, or when the Queen Elizabeth administration time, she changed the administrative languages and all other language or relating with administration, communication and all. So it changed it into English. So that was one of the important advancement during that time. And middle class in England, middle class people became economically stable. Okay. The next sixth point is that less clash. Relating with the other period in England, during the Elizabethan time, there was a proper stability. There was a stability in that period. So that's an important point here, relating with the advancement or the rich, why English period or why Elizabethan period is considered as a rich period. So that's an important point here. Okay, the next one is age of plots. Why Elizabethan period is considered as age of plots and conspiracies. We know that during the time of Elizabeth, we know that there was a clash between the Spain and other neighboring regions, and they planned to kill Elizabeth during that time. And normally the Queen Elizabeth became more popular and a friendly administration. She became a friendly administrator among the people. And normally the remaining, that means, or the neighboring countries try to kill or eradicate the administration process or administration of Elizabeth in England. So that's also there. A lot of conspiracies happened in Elizabethan time. A lot of conspiracies happened in Elizabethan time. Okay, so that's an important point here. And next we can say that a new type of drama introduced in this time. What is a new type of drama? It means that we can easily understand that Elizabethan time, a lot of advancement occurred. Mainly we can say that the influence of drama. It means that drama became, we already said that Elizabethan period drama, a great period for drama. Okay, a great period relating with Elizabethan period, drama or plays became more famous. It became more familiar with the people, and especially we can say that blank verse drama introduced in this time. Blank verse drama. What is blank verse drama? It means that a drama without proper rhyme. A drama without proper rhyme. Without proper rhyme. Okay, so that is blank verse drama was there. It's an important point. And next is during the time of Queen Elizabeth administration, poem became more popular. At the same time, that is lyrical poems. Lyrical poems became more popular in this time. And next is that open air theatre. Open air theatre. Open air theatre introduced in this time. Open air theatre became more popular in this time. And next peculiarity of Queen administration is secularization of drama. Secularization of drama. What is secularization of drama? Secularization of drama means, secularization of drama is an important point. Secularization of drama means drama without religious influence. What is drama without religious influence? We know that normally Christianity the religious system, Christianity was there in England during that time. But Queen Elizabeth changed this Christian-oriented drama. At the same time, she promoted common place in the open theatrical drama presentation. Okay, so that is the important point: open air theatre and secularization of drama. And next, we have to remember about relating with the contribution of Elizabethan or Queen Elizabeth is that then this time Latin drama mainly influenced Seneca. Okay, Who was Seneca? Seneca was a Latin dramatist. Okay, Seneca was a Latin dramatist. Who influenced Elizabethan dramatist. Okay, Seneca was an important dramatist from Latin language, and his works influenced Elizabethan dramatist. Okay, and this was based on, during that time, this drama mainly based on personal feelings. Okay, personal feelings. The content of that drama was personal feelings. And next advancement of this time of Queen Elizabeth is that we can say that first one is sonnet. What is sonnet? It means that 14 lines poem. Okay, sonnet means 14 lines poem. This type of poems introduced during this time. And second one is tragedy. What is tragedy? It means that first tragedy plays. That means we have a different genre of dramas, like plays, like tragic drama, comic drama, romantic type. Then, okay, so different types of dramas are there. Actually, the tragic drama was introduced in England during the time of Queen Elizabeth. So that was an important point we have to keep in our mind. And next is that different types of theater introduced. Different types of theater introduced. Open theater. Okay. It means that important theater. Important type of theater introduced in this time. Which are the important types of theater introduced this time? Then first one is Rose. The Rose is an open theater. Okay. The Rose is an important type of theater. Different types of theater was there. And the Rose, then Red Bull. The next is Red Bull. And Globe, the theater Globe, it was a famous theater. And relating with this theater was relating with Shakespeare. Okay, this theater is relating with William Shakespeare. The Globe, the Rose, Red Bull, then the Swan. Swan, next theater is Swan. So all these are the important theaters during the time of Elizabethan time. Then the next peculiarity of Elizabethan period is the next peculiarity of Elizabethan period. Let's discuss the peculiarity. That means the different place, or they used some sort of flag. Flag indication was there. Flag indication. What is flag indication? We can also discuss about the flag indication. Flag indication. It means that flag indication means that if the people trying to watch a play, that means we know that dramas shot in the open air terrace. Okay, it was in open air terrace, and in an open air terrace, people watch a drama. They can easily understand which type of drama is going to present. Okay, or which type of drama is going to play. So here in this type, during the Elizabethan age, they used 3 different colors. Okay, 3 different colors. The colors are, first one is white color, and red color, and third one is black color. Okay. These 3 are the flag colors, okay, to indicate which type of drama is going to present in the stage. It means that white flag means comedy. White flag indicates comedy. Red flag indicates war. Black flag indicates tragedy. Okay, these are the 3 types of flag used in this time. So here we discussed about the role of important role of Renaissance, and why the Renaissance influenced English literature, and what are the role of Queen Elizabeth, and how the Elizabethan period was so special in the literature. So these are the important points we discussed relating with Queen Elizabeth. So in this session we discussed about why Elizabethan period was so special, and why this period considered as the golden period, and why this period is named as the period of William Shakespeare. So these are the important points when we have to keep in our mind when we start preparing the Elizabethan age for UPSC English Literature Optional Mains. So these are the important points we discussed today, and in the next class we will continue our sessions with a new topic. Then thank you.